Welcome to this painting tutorial. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to this video. In this video we're going to paint an Ultramarine for Warhammer 30k or the Horus Heresy series. This is pretty much a remake for the other Ultramarine video that I already made, just a little tweaks here and there. And I wanted to come back with something popular to continue my Horus Heresy series. I'm planning to eventually finish all of the legions. This is a very simple and easy to paint color scheme. And if you like it, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And click the bell so that you don't miss any of my coming tutorials. I'm going to start by priming the model in black, and you can use any color that you like. Blue is very easy to paint over almost any colored primer. So I went with black. You can use any primer that you like. And I'm going to give the whole model an even coat of Macragge blue. If you get your hands on a colored primer or a spray color from Games Workshop, this will make this step a lot more faster, a lot easier. But if not, just water down the paint and give it a couple coats. I don't know why I feel that blue is one of the easiest colors to paint in general. It covers very well and it looks very good. It's a very good choice for a starting army to paint a blue army, or a silver army is also pretty easy. Next, with Dragonhof Nightshade, you can use Nuln oil if you like, or even violet if you like. I'm going to use a detail brush to shade all of the recesses on the miniature. This is sort of a lining technique, just making sure that you have a sharp edge on a sharp point on your brush and going all over the edges. You can do it as I did it on my previous tutorial. You can see it where I slapped the wash all over the miniature, but then you have to come back and clean up. If you do this, you may take a little bit more time shading, but you don't have to clean up. So it's a give and take kind of thing. Next, with Calgar blue, I'm going to start edge highlighting all of the edges of the Ultramarine real quick. Of course, if you want to go very basic tabletop, you don't have to do all the edge highlighting. I like to do very kind of thick edge highlights because looking at the models at a distance, if you do very fine edge highlights, they don't stand up. So you can take a lot of time making very fine highlights, but you won't notice them at an arm's length distance. After that, I'm going to use Fenrisian gray. With this color, I'm just going to color in all of the sharpest edges and the places that are more towards the top of the miniature. Like you can see an example, for example, the knee pad that is very square and pointing upwards. I edge highlighted the whole thing, but like the beak of the helmet is just the very tip and the sharpest parts of the miniature. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and use Leadbelcher and a fine detail brush. And with this, I'm going to paint all of the silver details around the model. You can switch to a bigger brush if you like here and there, like in the exhausts of the backpack and the bolter. You can use a bigger brush just to make it quicker, because it's sometimes really annoying to paint a large area with a fine detail brush. But most of my stuff I painted with a fine detail brush, and that's fine. Don't forget always to thin down your paint with a little bit of water so that you don't distort the detail on the model and create any sort of texture on the miniature or cover any details because you're using very thick layers of paint. Then I painted with Vallejo model color black the bolter case real quick. That was pretty simple. And after that, I'm going to use Balthasar gold to give a base coat to all of the gold areas around the model. I want it to be a yellowy gold, but like they say on the books, Ultramarines are deep cobalt with brass detailing, but so well polished that it almost looks like gold. So I think it has to be a very rich color variety. It has to go from a very brassy dark color to a very yellowy gold on the edges, and that's the way I decided to paint the gold. Although it's the same way I painted it before, I know, but there's other methods to paint the goldish or brass things that are different. So this is the reasoning behind the color selection, I guess. Here I'm using Nuln oil to shade all of the silver details around the model real quick. Just make sure that it goes on all of the edges of the silver, and that it goes into the recesses as well. And because these areas are very small, I'm using a fine detail brush still. With Agrax Earthshade, I'm gonna shade the gold, but only the details that have any sort of crevices, like the shoulder pad there, because there's no point on shading big open areas around the model that don't have any crevices or shadowy parts. So I just went with painting all of the crevices and stuff. Next, with Runefang steel, I'm going to edge highlight all of the edges of the silver real quick. It's a very easy step. Make sure to thin down the paint. As well, you can use, I often use drying retarder, a liquid drying retarder, such as for an airbrush or for regular acrylic paint, and use a little bit of that. That's going to extend the time that you have to work with your paint for the edge highlight. It makes it easier so that the paint doesn't dry on the tip of your brush. I'm here doing the same thing with the black, just using Eshin gray instead. And after that, I'm going to use Dawnstone, and this is going to go over only the sharpest edges of the bolter, like in the armor. Just trying to make it a little bit thinner edge highlight so that a little bit of the Eshin gray shows. Now we only have to highlight the gold, and we're going to start with Gehena's gold. And this color is going to go over most of the area of the gold, including the open parts and stuff, just leaving the deepest recesses on the previous color. As you can see, I'm painting the whole area of the gold and not only the edges, and leaving some of the shadows on the shaded Agrax Earthshade. And to finish it up, I'm going to use Auric Armor Gold, and this is going to go over the sharpest edges of the gold. And not only the sharpest edges, I painted the sharpest, more brightest parts of the shoulder pad, because I want a little bit of color variation. But in this big open part of the backpack, I went with all of the edges. Next, with Khorne red, I'm going to start painting the lenses. That's pretty much all that you have to do. I'm going to just base them completely with Khorne red. After that's done, I'm going to use Evil Sunz Scarlet, paint the front half part of the lens. And after that, I'm going to use Firedragon Bright to give it a very fiery glow, and just put a little dot on the very front of the lens to make this a little transition of red to bright orange. And to finish it up, just a little dot of white on the back to make a little reflection of light and give this effect of a kind of a glossy lens that reflects the light. And this is the finished model. So this is an easy, basic color scheme for Ultramarines, and I think for some reason the blue has always been a little bit more easy to paint than the other colors. It covers very well and it looks very good after it's applied. The base is just sand with mechanical standard gray, then a wash of Nuln oil, and then a dry brush of a Tyrant skull, but you can use a Screaming skull if you want, and that's it. So it's very nice to come back with painting an easier tutorial than Angron, because Angron took a lot of time and was quite a task to paint. But yeah, this is nice, and I hope you find this video entertaining and helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, comment on it. That really helps my channel a lot. Help me spread the word about the channel so that it becomes more successful. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. You stayed. Great. Thank you very much for watching my video, and if you would like to further support my channel, you can become my Patreon on Patreon. You can pledge as little as $1 a month,
and you are helping me create more and better content. If you can't, that's fine, because you're helping my channel a lot just for watching and sharing, but you can read all of the details if you follow the link in the description below. I hope you can spare $1 to make this hobby of mine a job for which I can get paid. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.